everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, and welcome everyone. Welcome attendees to this session. Thank you so much for joining us today for this exciting moment. We are here today to celebrate with Intri, Gerb, Timk, and Madagascar Advocates because they are launching their new strategic plan. And today, we're just going to present a snapshot of the strategies because our time is limited, unfortunately, but we hope that you enjoy what we present today and that you will be interested in knowing more by reading their strategic plans. So we have a chat. Please use it. If you have questions, if you have reactions, please send your questions in the chat. We will take note of them and we'll make sure that the organizations will answer your questions. Also, we have interpretation. So on the options bar on the bottom of your screen, you should have a club icon with interpretation options. And so we have an English channel and a French channel because we will present with both languages. Yeah, my name is Marianne and I am hosting on behalf of Maria Silly, and I'm here with Josia. Yeah, so without further ado, as I'm saying that people are still joining, but just because we don't have that much time, we're gonna start. And so Josia, please, can you talk to us a little bit about the context, conservation context in Madagascar?
Thank you, Marianne. Hi, everyone. So I'll start by presenting the conservation context in Madagascar, which is, as you know, an island recognized as one of the most significant biodiversity hotspots in the world. So this unique place is home to many species found nowhere else on Earth, from lemurs and frogs to distinctive trees and plants. However, Madagascar faces severe environmental challenges and conservation issues that threaten its rich biodiversity. Over the past 50 years, Madagascar has lost almost 40% of its natural forests. The deforestation rate remains very high, even in protected landscapes. And most of the remaining forests are fragmented and continue to face pressures from small-scale agriculture by nearby communities. So the country is among the poorest in the world, with a complicated and challenging socio-economic and political environment. And local communities are highly dependent on natural resources. Despite these issues, there have been some positive developments and good investment in conservation efforts in Madagascar. Since the Durban Vision of 2003, the number of protected areas in Madagascar has tripled. Additionally, there is now a diverse community of Malagasy organizations working towards conservation, and lots of this work has been done with local communities. A significant aspect of conservation in Madagascar involves integrating people and nature, and many conservation organizations support grassroots conservation measures, which are community-based mechanisms. Multi-use protected areas were created also known as harmonious landscapes, and they make up most of the country's protected areas with communities living in and around them. Madagascar is dedicated to enabling these grassroots organizations to achieve more significant conservation outcomes. They are mostly the ones that are able to work closely with communities to achieve conservation efforts that are impactful in terms of integrated people and nature approach. Today, 4 organizations, partners of Maliasili, launched their strategic plans. So this process started 2 years ago with the Madagascar Environmental Leadership Program, also called MELF. And we started the process with Madagascar of Wakadzi. We usually call it MV, Madagascar of Wakadzi, as a single organization. But then in order to capitalize on peer learning, peer feedback, and shared learning, as well as, the trust developed between the organization's leaders through the MELP, we decided to launch a strategic planning process in a group with 3 organizations, such as GER, called Groupe d'études et de recherche sur les primates, so the Malagasy Primate Working Group, INDRI, Initiative pour le développement, la restauration écologique et l'innovation, and Tsimuka Association. So as you may know, lots of conservation organizations in Madagascar have or share similar vision. However, by grouping them together in this process of strategic planning, the organizations were enabled to recognize and harness their unique qualities. So they came up with missions and approach that are very distinctive from each other, yet forging meaningful collaborations. So let's start hearing from them, talking about their plan for the next 5 to 6 years.
Thank you so much.
Continue.
Yeah, thank you so much, Josia, for reminding us of why it's so important that we have local Malagasy organizations supporting communities and safeguarding our natural resources and landscapes. And also why it's so important to have these organizations together today. And yeah, so I'm seeing that there are people that have just joined. Welcome. And we just presented an overview of the context in Madagascar, and we are about to start presenting each strategic plan. So this will just be a snapshot, and we hope to attract your interest. And please ask questions in the chat if you have them. And our colleagues, but also the different team members from Madagascar Advocates, SHERP, INDRI, and TIMC are also there. They can also answer your question. And we have interpretation. Please join the channel if you're depending on your preference. And yeah, please enjoy. So our first organization has been nurturing Madagascar since 2 decades now, and they are specialized in endemic species protection. Please welcome Tunsu from Madagascar Advocates.
Yes, thank you, Marianne, for giving me the floor. Hello, everyone. I am Tunsu Aranay. I am here on behalf of our executive director, Julie Hunter Azakmanag. She has entrusted me with this speech, and I'm excited to have this opportunity. So, have you ever imagined an ideal society where a community, despite facing poverty, can prosper harmoniously with threatened biodiversity. If you have already reflected on this concept, you share the same vision as Madagascar advocates. Certainly, collaborating with community to protect and conserve natural resources and biodiversity present challenges. First, with this challenge, we adopted a research-based approach. Next slide, please. The story of Madagascar advocates began with a group of scientists working on chameleon and bats. The photos show the chameleon research team with Dr. Richard Jenkins, our first executive director, in the center, and the bats research team with Dode Andrea Fitzson, currently our program manager on conservation and community program. Next slide, please. Are you aware that the result of their work leads to the establishment of Madagascar advocates in 2005, a Malagasy association dedicated to protecting endemic threatened Malagasy species? Since then, there have been enormous changes. Next. The team continued to engage in research projects, but incorporated a social approach by collaborating with the local community. Our approach was guided by our core value of local roots and continuing learning. Since 2011, Julio has been as the executive director of Madagascar Advocates. 7 protected areas have been established and providing employment and support more than 200 families. Next, I started my professional career in 2015 at Madagascar Advocates as trainee and project assistant, and currently project officer for restoration and flora in community and conservation program. My early career influenced me greatly. As project assistant, I studied how to germinate the seeds of these threatened tree species, how to plant their seedlings and be able to reinforce their natural population. I was to work with local communities by developing research and plantation activity in which success required social, economic, and ecological attention. Next, please. The initial research action have led to local community engagement and influenced our approach. The BOBA project has paved the way for the restoration and flora project, which are now one of the 4 main pillars of Madagascar strategic action. However, in Madagascar, conducting research and conservation effort on a sustainable development scale present numerous challenges. Therefore, we are convinced that the time has come to break down the wall of inefficient collaboration between community and protected area manager and partner. Next, please. Our mission involves partnership with local community to reserve the decline of endangered species in their native environmental. Next. So, our process began with goal 1, fortifying research to inform decision-making on conservation to improve management and protection. At Madagascar Advocates, we prioritize collaborating with university on applied research to foster innovation and implement practical solutions. Our goal for the 5 next years is to improve the conservation status of target baobab species and Tarzan chameleon, upgrading them from threatened species to a safe status than before. Goal 2, by engaging local communities in tree planting and monitoring restoration area, we empower individuals to take ownership of their environmental footprints. A total of 8,000 hectares of priority habitat will be focused on for restoration and maintenance, aiming to reduce threat, which will result in expansion of protected area forest cover and increase population of endemic species. Goal 3, we will create opportunity for the community to generate and manage their income. Once community are engaged via robust income generating activity, they will be better equipped to work together to restore the habitat necessary for the survival of threatened target species. But sustainable management of endemic species and biodiversity extend beyond preservation. It serves as a catalyst for change. So goal 4, we envision initiating the valorization of endemic Malagasy species for the benefit of the local population and the sustainable conservation of natural resources. Consequently, we targeted to create 5
naturel.
streams
Et
that generate
nous
income
allons en fait cibler la génération de revenus pour les communautés, les membres de la communauté. Pour conclure,
that Madagascar advocates must address over the next 5 years. Previously recognized for our research-oriented approach, we are now transitioning to a community-based approach, which demands a wide range of skill and the ability to overcome numerous challenges. Thus, we should adapt our team to meet current needs. It also includes respecting the value that have been established, such as rooted in our local community. In addition, having sustainable long-term funding is crucial to implement development and improving human well-being projects in biodiversity conservation projects. To sum up, we are enthusiastic about the opportunity outlined in our new strategic plan, which we have summarized for you today. Therefore, we are asking for your help to support us in implementing the strategic plan. With your support, we can create a significant impact together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tunsua. Thanks for bringing us to your amazing places in Madagascar through the beautiful pictures and also your stories. That was great. We really appreciate that. What a big,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Oh, so bad. Okay. Yeah. What a big and brave, swift to move from a research-based organization to a community-centered conservation one.
Okay, thank you.
Can you tell us more about what is the most significant change since you've made that decision?
Yes. Okay, thank you for this question. The most significant change since we made the decision to move from a research-driven organization to more community focused on is our ability to have more direct and tangible impact on individual and group within our target communities. Also, the restructuration of our organization and increase local engagement, and finally, strengthening the sustainability finance and action.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to pass on to Marianne now.
Yes. thank you so much for that really inspiring journey and strategic plan to the zoo. And of course, congratulations to Madagascar Advocates. If you wish to, if you have questions for them, please type them in the chat. We will either answer in there or we will share with Madagascar Advocates that they can contact you and answer your questions. Also, we will share the links to the strategic plans as we go. Okay, so our next organization might be young compared to the others, but they are a very courageous one. And their name is a nod to the very loud and biggest lemur species in Madagascar, and that is Indri. So please welcome Jean-Philippe Palassi, who is going to talk to us about what Indri does and what are they going to do in the next 5 years.
Okay, thank you so much, Marianne, and thank you, Maliasili, for organizing this. And thank you, everyone, for taking some of your time to hear about our organizations. So yes, INDRI is a young local Malagasy NGO. And INDRI actually means Initiative for Development, Ecological Restoration and Innovation. But as Marianne said, it's the name of a very iconic lemur, which you'll see at the end. So what we do is actually we are a center of expertise, collective intelligence, and advocacy, and I will explain that. And we work on the three landscapes that you can see on this slide: terrestrial, coastal, because Madagascar has almost 6,000 kilometers of coastline, and urban. Next slide, please. And so INDRI is recent. It was launched in 2020 by 14 leaders from the civil society. You see most of them here. And just to give you an example, there is one of the main urban specialists in the country. There is the leader of the main civil society network of environment organization. There is the ambassador of small-scale fishers, and there is a director of one of the main banks. And so it's a diverse group of leaders. And why did we decide to come together? You can see me in the middle, and the only, well, we are only two non-Malagasy, otherwise it's Malagasy leaders. We came together because we've all been running projects in Madagascar, and we saw two limits to that. I have been myself running projects in marine conservation. The limits we saw is that there are hundreds of projects, and they play a critical role, and some of them are presented to you today. But what is sometimes missing is a holistic approach, is a collective approach. It's very scattered. It's too scattered. And that's the first problem. So hundreds of projects don't make an environmental movement that can change a country. Written by just a few people in a ministry or by international consultants. People are not, there is no buy-in, they haven't been part of the process, and then they don't implement it. And to change that, we need very strong advocacy. There is some civil society in Madagascar is growing, but we felt that there are still big gaps in advocacy, and we decided to address these challenges by creating INDRI. Next, please. So here you see us. I like this picture because we are, you can see we're full of energy, because on that day we launched our work on the terrestrial landscape with an initiative called Alaminu. It gathers currently 250 organizations in Madagascar, from civil society groups to NGOs, private sector, government, of course, donor agencies, and even churches, and even the army. Because we feel that to produce change in a country, you need to gather people in a wide manner and not just be within your own environment bubble. And so on that day, we launched Alaminu. This was at the end of the day. We felt happy. There had been 200 organizations in the room, and we had set an agenda of priorities, which we've been working with in the last few years. Next, please. We've been doing it in the capital, but also all over the country, consulting people on priority topics. So, for example, we've spent a year working with 150 organizations on the issue of forest fires. For those who know the conservation challenges of Madagascar, you will know that fire is one of the big issues. And surprisingly, there was not a strategy on fighting forest fires in Madagascar, preventing and fighting. And so this has been a huge endeavor across the entire country and with the government. And we landed with 12 proposals, 6 of which have already been announced by the president of Madagascar in the Council of Ministers. We are now following up for the implementation, but you see this is already an important milestone. Next, please. And so we've been, we are, on a variety of crucial topics for the country, mobilizing techniques of facilitation that were not so much present in Madagascar. We work with an international partner called Dreamocracy, and they help us, identify those collective intelligence techniques. It's a bit of a buzzword at the moment, but the point is to help people look at an issue from various angles and really get the best of the brains in the room, because we've seen too many in Madagascar of big meetings in international hotels where in fact you have the brains you need in the room, but everyone is listening to the same speeches and you don't get anywhere. So this is what we are trying to change. And here you see people with the yellow hats. They are using the Bono hat technique, which allows people to look at a topic from angles that they were not necessarily arriving at the meeting with. Next slide, please. So we are only 4 years old, and the support of Maliasili came exactly at the right time for us, at the time when we were starting to have lessons learned from our practice, and we were able to solidify our strategy, put very precise word on our vision, our mission, our values. It was a very energizing moment for the team. Perhaps you can see that in the picture. And so here we are today. Next, please, with a strategic plan up until 2030, with goals and sub-goals, of course. But the point is to mobilize the expertise, intelligence, and the courage, and this is one of our values, of everyone in Madagascar to really get this policy change across these 3 landscapes at scale, and to really catalyze change. Next, please. And so the strategic goals, well, I'll present them to you now. So in our work, the first step is really to gather information. We don't want to waste people's time. So we do our work here. We do our work a bit like a think tank. We really produce a synthesis, for example, on forest fires, on reforestation. How do you reforest a country like Madagascar at scale with quality? On the issue of charcoal, that is one of the main issues affecting ecosystems. So, and of course, on marine issues, such as the potential of aquaculture to provide solutions. On each topic, we start by, doing our homework, having a synthesis that is a starting point for people to work with. And we are working on the launch of a national platform, online platform, that will contain the hundreds of documents that exist, but are usually difficult to access, and also the contacts of all the stakeholders with an interactive map. And we really hope with these kind of tools that people will not have to start from scratch when they do a conservation effort in Madagascar, and will be able to collaborate and use what is already existent. So next, please. So once we've done this work of using the information strategically, as I said, we do this big effort to mobilize nationally. We try to really energize people. We try to make extremely good use of their time. We see that people come back to our workshops. They come back to our processes. They get really involved. We have now on each topic a very strong set of leaders, and I think this shows that we've been able to bring energy. And I think people see also a need, because the reason why we started INRI, because we could see that things were scattered. We could see the lack of advocacy. Everyone can see it. And so we see a lot of commitment to the process. Next, please. And so then the next step, of course, once everyone agrees and we've published reports, proposals on each topic, once we have that, we need to communicate massively. Here you see a press conference. We've been using Facebook very heavily, because Facebook is the main mass media in Madagascar. So we managed to have publications that are seen by 500,000 people. And now we want in the coming years to use community radios a lot in Madagascar. So communication is very important. Next, please. And then, of course, institutional advocacy, nurturing contacts with the government, building policy with the government. Here you see us with the environment minister. We happen to have a great one at the moment, so that's helpful. And also because of the way we've built INDRI with these co-founders in key positions, and with the networks we are building, we're able to tap into people who are in position to help us advance the policy agenda. Next, please. So yes, so that's in a nutshell, INDRI. As it was said, the strategic plan we've developed with Maliasili will be made available, and I look forward to more exchanges with you. And thank you again so much for taking some of your time for this today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. That was great and very inspiring. So I noticed from your presentation that your intended impact is to foster effective public policies across Madagascar's landscapes. So I have a question out of interest, actually. How do you work with the government to achieve that goal? Can you tell us more about that? Thank you.
Yes, it's a very good question. It's what conditions our success. I feel it's probably the most important thing we have to do, but it's also very hard. So I would say, on one hand, we have the courage to say what needs to be said, to put things on the table. And sometimes, it may ruffle some feathers in the government, but you have sometimes to, say, have the courage to say certain things that are important. For example, at the moment, there is a highway project through one of the main forests, and we are bringing this issue. We are bringing people together to raise this issue. That's one thing. But at the same time, if the only thing we do is criticize and antagonize the government, that won't produce things. And so, as you've understood from the presentation, we work with the authorities from day one and through every step of the way. And the goal is really that at the end, they have a national strategy that they own, that they feel is a government strategy, but on which, absolutely every stakeholder is on board because they've been part of the process. And that's where we put the main emphasis. And we've noticed that when we use that method, it's much easier to get proposals picked up by the government.
Thank you for your response. I'm sending you lots of courages, and also the audience will do that. So Marianne, what do you think? What's next?
Yeah, that was really, again, always so inspiring. And I think courage is a very important mindset and value to have if you want to change things. And that's definitely what we need now in Madagascar. So thank you, Jipe, and congratulations to the INTRI team. So I'm seeing questions in the chat. So INTRI, and yeah, so some of my colleagues have been answering them. Please continue asking. I'm also seeing questions in the Q&A. There will be, so we will answer them as we go, and if not, we will be in touch with you. So our next organization is another trailblazing one. They are specialized in ecological restoration techniques. And their name is TIMC, which means sprout in Malagasy. But Jimmy Razafsalam from TIMC is going to be able to tell you more about that better than I do. So please welcome Jimmy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Marianne, to give me the floor. For me, I'm going to express in French. That's for the diversity of the conference. My name is Jimmy Razafsalam. Je suis le président de l'association TIMC. C'est un honneur pour moi de représenter mon équipe et aussi de présenter notre plan stratégique. TIMC est une association locale à Madagascar, comme Marianne l'a déjà dit tout à l'heure. TIMC veut dire repousser ou se reconstruire ou se relancer. Et donc, son histoire est basée en grande partie à partir de l'initiative de deux jeunes malgaches qui ne sont autres que moi-même et mon ami Toto. Un petit coucou à lui qui est à droite de la photo. Ça a été une photo de nous avec quelques communautés de pêcheurs à Ramin dans la zone d'influence de notre projet. L'association a été créée par des jeunes citoyens soucieux de la conservation de la nature à Madagascar et aussi très excités par un esprit de patriotisme. Pour faire face aux enjeux majeurs liés aux crises
To
environnementales,
face problems linked to environment in Madagascar, the association has prepared some sustainable solutions. We are really aware of
à contribuer à la protection des richesses naturelles, à restaurer les zones dégradées par les activités humaines et à venir en aide aux communautés locales dans leur quotidien. En fait, avant, c'est-à-dire depuis 2009, l'intervention de TIMC a été limitée sur la gestion de l'aire protégée Urunzi dans le nord de Madagascar. Historiquement, tous les membres de TIMC étaient staff du Missouri Botanical Garden. Vous connaissez, c'est une institution américaine, mais qui est intervenue ici à Madagascar. Mais nous, les membres, nous avons décidé de prendre le relais des actions menées par MBG dans le nord de Madagascar, surtout pour la pérennisation des actions et aussi pour, comme j'ai déjà dit tout à l'heure, pour prendre nos responsabilités et remplir nos devoirs de citoyens. Pendant nos interventions à Urunzi, qui est une aire protégée, abritant une forêt sèche sur la côte de Madagascar, euh, euh, nous avons mis en place et appliqué des approches pour l'atteinte des objectifs de gestion du site et nous avons eu des bons résultats. Ces approches étaient à la mise en place de divers essais et expérimentations sur les techniques de restauration écologique dans les forêts sèches du site. Nous avons pu en tirer et élaborer un protocole qui a été très efficace pour la restauration des habitats défrichés là-dedans et qui sera aussi applicable sur tous les sites ayant les conditions similaires que Urundi à Madagascar. De l'autre côté, nous avons aussi pratiqué des techniques d'agriculture qui s'appellent techniques d'agroforesterie dynamique. En fait, c'est une agriculture qui est très lucrative, très diversifiée et aussi résiliente aux effets de changement climatique. Cela, c'est pour aider les communautés locales à améliorer leur production et diversifier leurs revenus tout en respectant l'environnement. Cette approche a été appliquée à partir des analyses que nous avons menées, car ici à Madagascar, la plupart des pressions contribuant à la perte de biodiversité et de couverture forestière à Madagascar étaient liées aux pratiques culturelles anciennes, traditionnelles, qui ont été appliquées par les paysans. Et après l'application de ces techniques, les résultats étaient très satisfaisants. Nous sommes vraiment fiers de vous partager que nous avons pu maîtriser les pressions principales de les protéger Burundi, comme le cas de charbonnage et de défrichement qui ont frappé le site depuis plusieurs décennies. Nous avons aussi pu restaurer beaucoup d'habitats dégradés dans les protégés avec succès. Et les paysans qui ont appliqué les techniques de l'agroforesterie dynamique ont vu leurs sources de revenus augmenter. Et sur le point de vue écologique, il y avait aussi des véritables bénéfices et avantages pour les paysans qui les ont pratiqués, comme le retour des sources d'eau qui sont redevenues fonctionnelles après une dizaine d'années d'assèchement. Et aussi, il y a les données qui sont palpables et qui ont montré aussi l'amélioration de qualité du sol après l'utilisation de la technique par les paysans. Après avoir eu ces expériences, nous avons décidé de les valoriser afin de remplir notre devoir de citoyen dans la conservation de la nature et aussi pour venir à l'aide aux communautés de Madagascar. Cela constituait un déclic qui nous a poussé définitivement à la création de l'association TIUMC en 2017, c'est-à-dire à l'année 2017 et le démarrage de toute activité de l'association TIUMC. Et là aussi, c'était un déclic pour nous décider de se lancer à la mise à échelle de notre action. En voyant la situation dans d'autres régions à Madagascar, on s'est rendu compte aussi qu'il y a des problèmes récurrents dans la gestion des aires protégées. Cela nous a aussi poussé de valoriser nos expériences et de les mettre à l'échelle pour accélérer nos impacts sur la conservation de la biodiversité à Madagascar. Et c'est vraiment un privilège et un honneur pour moi de faire partie de l'équipe de TIMC qui a comme vision la restauration des écosystèmes, la restauration des services écologiques et aussi l'orientation des avantages aux communautés locales qui vont pouvoir vivre en symbiose avec la nature. La mission de TIMC sera d'accélérer la réhabilitation écologique à Madagascar afin de contribuer à la biodiversité, à la protection de la biodiversité et aussi à l'amélioration de vie des communautés locales. Et donc, forte de ses succès dans l'art protégé Urundi de ses zones d'influence, afin de partager ses expériences et amplifier ses impacts à Madagascar, Simco a pour ambition de déployer une stratégie d'expansion à grande échelle de ces techniques novatrices qui ciblent particulièrement les régions sèches de Madagascar. Cependant, comme nous le connaissons, euh, on a besoin vraiment d'une stratégie solide pour que nous puissions se lancer dans cet objectif. C'est pour cela que nous avons élaboré avec nos partenaires la stratégie d'expansion pour 2024 jusqu'à 2030. Et pour cette stratégie, Simco souhaite inclure 10 organisations environnementales qui impacteront plus de 500 hectares dans le paysage sec de Madagascar et avec plus de 200 ménages vivant à proximité jusqu'à l'année 2030. Et dans cet plan, l'objectif stratégique seront de partager les techniques de restauration des forêts sèches dans les AP de Madagascar afin d'améliorer l'état de la biodiversité et les services écosystémiques pour les communautés locales. Il y a aussi de vulgariser les pratiques d'agroforesterie dynamique auprès des communautés environnantes des aires protégées. Il y a aussi de poursuivre les expérimentations et les innovations dans la gestion de l'air protégée Urundi afin d'améliorer les techniques de réhabilitation écologique. Et le dernier objectif, c'est de mettre en place un système de suivi et d'évaluation robuste pour communiquer les résultats sur la réhabilitation écologique. Et comme objectif à court terme, nous avons fixé de partager les techniques de restauration écologique avec des partenaires impactant plus de 80 000 hectares d'aires protégées ici à Madagascar et aussi de vulgariser les techniques d'agroforesterie dynamique sur 600 ménages. Pour plus de détails, veuillez consulter notre plan stratégique dans le lien sur le chat. Et donc, pour finir, nous sommes vraiment fiers d'avoir ce plan stratégique qui est un outil important pour notre futur, mais nous avons besoin de votre aide pour sa mise en œuvre. Et donc, nous vous invitons, veuillez nous joindre et supporter-nous pour accélérer les impacts de nos interventions sur la nature à Madagascar. Merci beaucoup, mesdames et messieurs, de votre attention. Merci.
Bravo, Jimmy. Merci, merci bien. So thank you for bringing to the table practical solutions, not only to biodiversity and ecosystems, but also to communities. Remember, we had the first presentations, the first slides talking about the issues of deforestation, habitat degradation, poverty, highly dependency of local communities on natural resources. So you are going straight into solving that issue in the country. So when I listened to your presentation, at the heart of your strategy is the scaling up of your innovative techniques on dynamic agroforestry and dry forest restoration. Now, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that scaling up in Madagascar?
Yes, thank you, Zozia, for this question. Because this approach is not uh, it is not very difficult, but only you need to be you need to build a strong partnership with the stakeholder, with the community, and also with partners working on the site. And also you need that implementing this strategic plan, it requires big funding. So we need to implement our strategy of funding in the plan. And also we need to have a good communication, because as you know, for all of the project related to the community and to have more impact, you need to put a good communication in all of the actions you are going to do. Thanks.
Merci beaucoup, Jimmy. Et félicitations à l'équipe TIMC pour ce magnifique plan stratégique qui nous donne beaucoup d'espoir. Yes, because the ecological restoration techniques that TIMC are bringing are innovative, science-based, and proven to work. So I'm already seeing comments of interest in the chat. This is just the beginning of the communication. So yeah, you will receive the strategic plan soon, and you will be able to be in touch with Jimmy and his team if you are interested in knowing more and working with them. Yeah, so we have a fourth organization today. Last but not least, because when you're talking about Madagascar, of course, we have to talk about lemurs, the emblematic species of our country. And this organization today is a historical one because they have been working for 3 decades now and have a great track record. So Professor Jonah Ratimbasaf is going to talk about GERC today, take us through their history and what they are going to do in the next 5 years.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jonah Ratsimbazafi, the president of the GERP, Groupe d'études et de recherche sur les primates de Madagascar. Thank you very much because of your help, your concern. I would like to speak on behalf of my team, the GERP team, today about this great opportunity and the strategic plan of the association. Let's start from the beginning, primarily by understanding the urgent needs of saving the lemurs in response to the growing threats to Madagascar, to this Madagascar emblem iconic species. The eminent anthropologist and primatologist, Professor Bertrand Kutsamanen, decided with 8 Malagasy primatologists to create an association of the Madagascar non-human primates in 1994. I was among the founding members of the GERP. I was her student at that time. Secondly, at that time, the Malagasy primatologists didn't know each other's, but many of the lemurs were already on the brink of extinction. Therefore, the main purpose of why GERP is created was to conserve the lemurs in their natural habitat. Since its creation, the association has established itself a major player as the leader and advocate speaker of this endangered unique species of the island of Madagascar. During these 30 years, from its creation up to today, GERP has achieved several tremendous achievements, which makes us proud because most of the recent lemur discoveries have been conducted by JERP members, including the discovery of the three most lemurs that help prioritize the conservation of their habitats. But apart from that, the successful management of the Marmisa protected area with a significant reduction in deforestation and in an increase in the lemur population, and as well as the organization of the Old Lemur Festival, which has become of the Old Lemur Festival. And that is become a large scale awareness event. Celebrate not only in Madagascar, but in many other countries like in the US and Europe. Our vision is simple, clear, and straightforward. We will make a significant impact at national level for the protection of lemurs and also to make Madagascar a sanctuary for lemurs and biodiversity in perfect harmony with mankind by 2050. Even today, lemurs are still facing big threats such as habitat degradation, deforestation, social pressure, like, for example, hunting and poaching, and local perception of lemurs, because some people think that lemurs can be pests, source of bad luck, and also extreme poverty forces local community to rely heavily on natural resources, and that increase pressures on lemur habitat. In order to attain our vision, the following goals are a must to target. Goal 1, ensure good management and good governance of the free sites that for the sustainability of the lemur's habitat and the prosperity of their population. Goal 2, develop a monitoring, evaluation, and learning system to inform the management of the key JERP sites and improve the foundation of their external communication. Goal 3, advocate and campaign for the adoption of policies setting lemur conservation as a national priority and developing solutions to reduce threats to lemurs and their habitats. Goal 4, facilitate the sharing and exchange of best practice and expertise from JERP's 3 model sites with the platform of protected area. These goals will be conducted, of course, by the association. And that means that we need to know what are the objectives of the organization. We have identified 4 objectives. First, we will establish management and governance mechanism. We implement key actions such as community patrols, customary land mapping, forest restoration, and income-generating activity programs. Second, developed a robust monitoring evaluation system, like developed monitoring evaluation plans, collect and analyze data, create a data storage system to inform and improve sites management and conservation action. Third, conservation and advocacy and campaigning. We will make lemur conservation a national priority. We'll strengthen coordination between JERP members, develop partnership, and bring decision makers together to solve conservation problems. And the fourth, sharing best practice and expertise. That means we will disseminate effective conservation practice. What are then the most important things to achieve in our strategy? Of course, financial resources. We will raise funds to support conservation sites management and monitoring activities. We also mobilize financial resources to support conservation site management and monitoring activities. And how about the strategic partnership? Yes, we will collaborate with government, private sectors, and other conservation organizations to strengthen lemur protection initiative, because conservation is a collective task which demands the involvement of all of us. So we will work closely with the government authorities to integrate lemur conservation into national priorities. Capacity building. To be effective, you have to be visible. Therefore, we will improve skills in communication, protected area, management, and organizational governance. And we will, the last but not the least, you will have alliances with other NGOs. The successes must be measured. And how? Well, increase in lemur population. Success is demonstrated by a visible increase in lemur population in well-protected habitat. Also, reduced environmental threats, effective sites management will reduce environmental threats such as deforestation and bushfire. And of course, raising awareness and strengthening policy. Speaking about the organizational strengthening, we identify three important things. First, clearly define the roles and responsibilities of each team members for better coordination. Recruitment of specialist experts in key areas, such as protected areas management and communication. And finally, strength management, monitoring, evaluation, and advocacy skills for more effective implementation of initiative. I strongly and solemnly call for action. JERP is committed to protecting lemurs and their habitat to ensure a sustainable future for Madagascar's unique biodiversity. Call to action to support JERP's efforts through partnership, funding, and increased collaboration. Once again, thank you very much, Malia Sili, for your help, your concern, and your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonah. Bravo. We feel the passion from you and also from the audience, lots of hearts, claps, and so thank you. I'm gonna pass on to Marianne to close the webinar.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Jonah. That was yeah, your passion for lemurs conservation and for biodiversity conservation in Madagascar in general is very inspiring for all of us. And congratulations to the JERP team and network. So unfortunately, our time is up. So we just pasted links to the strategic plans. We have your contacts, so we can send them to you. You have the contacts of each organization. Please continue sending the questions. Even if you're going to, before leaving, you can type in your questions and we're gonna save them and reach out to you. thank you very much. And we hope that the unique value propositions and unique strategies of these organizations have inspired you as well to join them in their very important work. And yeah, see you next time. Thank you so much for attending this event.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
all.
you.